We're doing another Elo Hell. This will probably be, we've done stuff like this before. This will probably be one of the better Elo Hells. We've actually had somebody kind of prove they aren't poop at Smite. He swore he was in Elo Hell before. He's played in 2 Elo Hell games, so it wasn't set around him. He just joined the Elo Hell games, and he was actually playing a little up. So I would ask for a 2K MMR lobby plus, and he was 1910. He played in both. So if you've watched those videos, he's played in 2 already. His name is KY. He's 1913 MMR, 31 wins, 23 losses in mid laner. I think out of both the games he's already played, he didn't die once. So he's like 20 kills, 0 deaths, and like 40 assists between 2 games. Both games, the mid laner that he was mid laning against was pretty weak though. So we aren't sold he's a beast, but we've taken him, and I didn't put him in a slightly better MMR lobby. We put him in a Masters lobby. This is 2,400 plus MMR, a bunch of Masters and Grandmasters level players. Maybe not a bunch of Grandmasters. 1 or 2 Grandmasters, a bunch of Masters level players. And we're going to see if he truly is in Elo Hell. We're going to see if there is some correlation to him smashing in those other games and what he could do here. I am not sitting here telling you I'm sold. I truly don't expect him to pop off in these games, but I'm hoping he holds his own. He seemed very confident, very comfortable playing the games and playing in the games and the gods that he played. So I have hopes that he doesn't get pooped on. It's a low standard right now for Elo Hell because you guys just get pooped on, which you should be, but I'm praying for more. I need more substance out of you Elo Hell gamers, all right? I need just more from you guys. These team comps are already spicy. Loki picked Thor and Rat on the same team. Hebo locked in. That team comp is gonna be, if they group and play right, that's a painful team comp. KY did rock Thoth in one of his earlier games. He seemed pretty comfortable. He seemed pretty, wait, they swapped out one of the people. I didn't check the getting sucked guy. We might have to remake the lobby. Never mind, getting sucked is pretty solid. That's someone's, is this 100% a Smurf, by the way? But it doesn't matter because this is supposed to be a 2,400 plus lobby anyway. I wanted big boys in this game. This man is a 62% win rate with a 2,700 MMR right now. He's definitely Smurfing. His account has a 75% win rate on the overall account. It's 100% a Smurf. I don't know who's Smurf. We'll see how good they are. It might be Double J's win rate wouldn't be that high. It's definitely not Double J. Bobby usually doesn't have cool names like that, so I don't know who it is. But I think it's a Smurf. I don't know whose Smurf it is. I just think that's a Smurf. I know it's I mean, here, look. Just so we can verify real quick before this match starts. This is our boy here, right? He has a 75% win rate on the account over 300 hours. It's level 73. It's 100% a Smurf. And then his ranked win rate currently for this split so far is 62%. It's 1,000,000% somebody on a Smurf. So that's going to be someone we're going to look out for because they might pop off. Because this is a 2,400 plus MMR lobby, and outside of that player, you've got a lot of new fresh masters. Like Set is new to masters. He's grinded up through plat like the middle of last year. So in the last year-ish, he's gone up a lot of ranks. So there's definitely a good balance. And this man thinks he's masters. Like KY thinks he is a masters level player. He's very confident and he believes it. So we're gonna find out where he stands. It's Thor solo Rat jungle. All right. Their team comp farms Thoth, by the way. No, most of these people use comms in game a little bit, but it's not super common. This red comp outside of the Hebo, the Thoth definitely beats the Hebo. The rest of that red comp is a Thoth killing comp. It will ruin Thoth in team fights if they're targeting him. He will not get to play the game. He's going Conduit Gem build? Conduit Chronos? Thoth, I don't really care what you build because I feel like you should have some control anyway. Yeah, if these guys use comms on either team, go for it. It doesn't matter to me. I'm not using it for or against people. It's whatever. Yeah, I'm gonna do another one after this. If we have somebody good sign up. Don't know what rank it'll be though. Comms is unusual. I try to use comms all the time in rank. Oh, trust me, I know. Most of my rank games has maybe one person in comms. I've been trying over the past 6 months to get people to, like, I use my comms every game. So I'm hoping more people start using comms again. Oh yeah, I gotta do Nico after. You're right, I forgot. We're doing another Masters level game after for Nico. Assuming Nico stays. I forgot. This clear his butt. He should be tanking a little bit for his boy here. This is kind of messed up. He's gonna put a solo down to 10% health. Their clear was really bad. Does Loki have bluestone? Okay, it's not a bluestone Loki. He did the same thing to you? Oh, that's rough. So he doesn't understand that he's supposed to tank when you don't clear fast enough on those back camps, or I guess the 3 camps. I think he might be a little I don't want to say nervous, but maybe it is just nerves. Maybe now that he's the focus, he's a little off. He's got conduit, so mana pot's not the end of the world here. If he's gonna jump in and spam again, it's not the end of the world. It's a little surprising that they don't have some pressure, but with the Loki not wanting to walk up, it does make sense. Enemy team with first blood. Wait, the Thor soloed somebody? Gaijin soloed Eccentrics. Oh, good dash. No beads. Oh, that was on. It just wasn't far enough. I'm so much happier with the way he reacted and kept playing this though than the last 2 mid laners. It's already a plus point. Yeah, late game Bluestone Loki is insane still. So I actually like the Bluestone Loki for jungle. It's one of the only ones that I still like it. Loki with Heartseeker, Bluestone, Crusher, and that throws a 2 out in the late game. It's like 30-40% of carry's health that you can just do for free because you just run around stealth. He's gonna go for this. Oh, I thought he would go in. I'd have been so hyped if he dashed and then threw up his wall and went for a kill. He's definitely way more hesitant now that he's the focus. He does realize he's in a bigger boy lobby, which makes sense. I'm not gonna hold him, like hold it against him here. He's playing a little bit more timid. I can tell that after watching him play the other games. He knows these players aren't gonna be the same level as the last players. So he's not egoing them. He's actually being smart. It's hard for me because when people are like, this guy, right when stream started, he's like, will you look at my games? I'm in Elo Hell. Like he was set and I wasn't going to do an Elo Hell on him, but then he played in 2 games and did great. So I felt like I had to. The funny thing though, is that I know he's against the Smurf. I just don't know if it's just a regular ranked player smurfing, if it's a pro player smurfing. Why did he do side camps? Soloing side camps as a mage before you have like 2 items online is actually kind of rough, man. You take a lot of damage, and it's a Hebo. So look, this Hebo wants to. This is perfect. I love it. I love it. I don't even care that he doesn't go for anything out of that. I love that he just pokes and plays safe. I actually I dream of my mid laners doing these things. I want him to be aggro here though. He doesn't want to get Hebo ulted, but I want him to dash in and throw max range roots out and then just poke. Right now he's getting counter poked. What's up, Sky? Yeah, he's definitely not lost in what he's doing. There's a thought behind everything he's doing, which is what I look for when people say they're at the highest level. What do you do when you're the worst player in Smite? Get coaching from me. I've done one-on-one coaching a lot before, like way back a couple years ago. I have those on YouTube, but I started doing one-on-one coaching again. And the second guy I coached at the end of the game, he was like, that was the best feeling game I've played in weeks. That was his exact quote. And that was the live coaching. That was after I gave him a bunch of notes. He worked on that for a day, and then the next day I live coached him, and he was like, best feeling game he played. I can make anyone better. There's a lot of you guys have little things you got to work on before you get to the big things, and it's just so easy for someone that plays the game for a living and, you know, plays at a high level to make you better. I think some people think they're helpless because they don't know any better and they don't know how to figure out any better. Coaching is how you figure out any better. But I still could be in the SPL. If I scrimmed for like a month, I could definitely play up to that level. I don't think if it, like it was thrown into a game right now, I'd be slow to like camps. I'd have to learn what the new values are for the meta, for like, you know, ranked meta, or sorry, for competitive meta. When I say competitive meta, I mean, what buffs do you invade? What are you looking for this? What are timers normally for big objectives? You know, obviously they don't really look for fights very much. It's a lot to learn because the pacing of the game is flawless, where ranked pacing at Masters, Grandmasters is not flawless. It's just fighting a lot. Improving mechanical skill. There is one way and one way only to improve your mechanical skill in Smite. Play the same god over and over and over. Oh, he saw Rat go up. He's in trouble here. I really like the pre-beats. It's a little risky, but I really like the pre-beats. They forced that way too much. He should have poked more. But yeah, you want to get better mechanically? Play the same god over and over and over again. Your brain will start to process that, like the timers for every ability. And you will get to a point where you don't have to think about when and how and where and what you want to do with abilities on that god. You'll just be able to play Smite and get better at Smite. Good poke. Good sidestepping too. I like his strafing. Is he gonna go for this? Oof. If he takes his time and doesn't rush his ults, and when he dashes like that takes his time, I think he'll be really happy with this gameplay. This guy is 1918 MMR, and he's playing in a 2400 plus lobby right now with a bunch of Masters players, a couple of Grandmasters players. His team's up 3-2. He's looking solid. He's got to not get picked up with his beats down. That's something I'm going to be looking for.
You're sober now. Yeah.
What's he building? Conduit gem into cooldown, but he went Spear of Deso. I don't mind Spear of Deso on Thoth. If you didn't know, Thoth's passive is you get pen as a passive. Is it every 3 levels, 6 levels? It's every so many levels you get like 3 flat pen or something. So flat pen stacking on Thoth is a little bit more valuable than other gods right now. I still want to see percent pen. Like I don't want his build to be too dramatically different.
You're sober now.
The 3-man rotation. The hit squad. One of the most common things I see people do right now is they play a different gods over and over again. And I'm sorry, but you will never, it will take you 10x, maybe 20x longer to get good at a role if you're playing different gods over and over again. Just play the same gods. Pick 3 gods and spam them. Nothing else. Just spam those 3 gods over and over and over and over, and do not play anything else in that role. A lot of you guys are coming up and trying to get better at a time in Smite where there's 8 million gods, and at a competitive level, almost every god can be played at some way. When we came up, there was 2 or 3 gods that were good. And if you were really trying to win and play the best stuff, you were only playing those 3 gods. So I think a lot of people need to adjust their mindset and stop wasting time playing a different god every game and never learning. It's so stinking boring playing the same god over and over again. There's no way that you're trying to win your rank games, you're trying to improve, and you only have like 1,000 hours and you're saying playing the same god in your rank games is boring. You probably only play like 4 rank games a day, if that. You're not playing enough for playing the same gods to be boring. To be playing 3 gods on repeat to be boring for you, there's no way. I've been playing this game, I have like 20,000 hours. That's why I don't play the same gods anymore. It's also not great content. But when I was coming up and playing all day, every day, 14-hour days, trying to make it so I was one of the best players in the game, I literally played the same gods. Also, winning is way more fun than losing. So for you to be like, yeah, it's boring playing the same god, you're bored because you're getting shit on. So if you do what I say and you get better and you stop getting shit on, you'll have a lot more fun playing that god over and over again. And don't tell me, if you're playing a better video game, the fun in the competitive game is popping off, having close games, and winning games. Those are the 3 ways you have fun. Getting shit on is not fun. Losing games repetitively is not fun.
You're so vanilla.
When I was playing, oh, nice. He's paying a really good attention and actually using his abilities, right? The rat kind of trolled and probably should have landed that still, or at least gotten a dash off on him. When I started playing, Thor was the best jungler in the game. It got to the point where I was at the top of ranked and I'd play Thor and people would be like, one trick Thor. I played a lot of Arachne back then, but she was a different god. Her kit was completely different. I played as gods came out, like when Mercury came out, I mained the hell out of Mercury. When Nem came out, I mained the hell out of Nem. When Serket came out, she came out when I was at a LAN. We got back from the LAN. I mained Serket and made her meta. Initially, like I said, it was kind of Thor. Fenrir was played. I played a little bit of Baka. I played a little bit of Freya. But Thor and Fenrir, like Fenrir was the pub stomper back in the day, and Thor was like the best god in the game for jungling. It wasn't even close. Also, when I first started playing, you had to buy actives, and nobody bought actives at the start of the game. So people would be running around with no beads for like 8 minutes, 10 minutes. What's up, Night Noxus? Stay with the Prime. No, I leveled in Smite. My first account, level 30 was max level. I got to 29 playing mid. I played Anubis a lot. And then I started to learn what jungling was. At first, jungling was very different. So they made it so when I got towards level 30, jungling became jungling, what it is now. That was it, right around then was when it shifted into a true jungle. And I learned how it worked like the day or two after it came out. And I was like, all right, that's what I want to do. Like that's my play style. And I never swapped back. When I swapped, I played Arachne pretty much 24/7 to level up that last level because it took forever. And then I started playing the gods that were good in ranked when I started playing ranked. And I started playing ranked the second night at level 30. Loki's doing extra damage with backstabs.
You're so vanilla.
I love how he's looking for stuff, but I feel like he needs to get more into these rotations. We're 13, 14 minutes in and he hasn't had an impactful rotation yet. And I think I'm glad he's here. He's going to get a cleanup kill. That's what I'm looking for. Even if it is just a cleanup kill, I'm looking for him to be around where stuff is happening.
You're so vanilla.
Playing the same god will help you in multiple ways. Okay. That was a weird reaction. They're not going to get gold now. He rushed that. He doesn't take his time on the ult charge. He needs to make the move first. But anyway, playing the same god over again helps you in multiple ways. The first way is it's going to get you confident in the timing. So you get used to the animations on every ability, on your auto attacks. You get comfortable in the movements, all that stuff, right? It just becomes secondhand. As you get to that point where those abilities become secondhand and you're not thinking about how they work, you're getting to the point where you're using them without wondering what ability to use. So you're starting to process like this ability here is what I want to do. I want to use my dash this way. I want to use my ult this way, right? Then you grow past that to the point where you actually get to start learning Smite. Because you aren't learning that god. You aren't learning your matchups. You aren't learning your builds. You aren't learning, you know, how this dude plays in team fights. You already know all that. You've played the god 100 times, whatever. You learn that shit. Now you can learn Smite as a game. You can learn objective play. You can learn rotations. You can learn warding. You can learn all the little things that add up to playing the game correctly. Level is 2 before his 3? Yeah, why not? If he's using his 2 consistently for damage, I mean, that's a slammer, dude. That's a big slammer. Oh, they're diving. Blasphemous is getting a nice ult from Blasphemous. He's gonna die here, and I don't think he's gonna get a last hit. All right, this is bad tunnel vision. I don't like this tunnel vision. He's not playing aggro enough to kill this guy, and this ult is a bad ult, and he's out. Tunnel vision. He should have gone and helped the solo lane, or sorry, the duo lane. He should have been on the tower line, casting over the wall where he was originally, instead of going for the rat. You cannot tunnel vision like that as the mage. We'll see how he plays here. Good chance to just poke out, get a kill. He's turning his back to Thor. You don't hear Thor though. That Thor caught his dash. I didn't even realize. No Aegis. No Aegis. Oh no, his Aegis wasn't up. I lied. I didn't realize it was down still. That's what's gonna happen to him the rest of this game. Red team now has a lot of control, and they should have just learned how to deal with the Thoth. His problem there was he went for the dash on the Thor ult instead of dashing after the stun or just dashing initially to get better position and getting landed on either way. That would work against bad players who miss abilities regularly, but when you start playing in Masters lobbies and people aren't missing abilities consistently, you can't do that shit. I'm a support main, and when I play ranked, it's hard to get teammates that work together. Yeah, don't play support before Diamond. If you're a support player, get good enough to carry in another role. Whatever role you want to learn and get good at, and then when you get up into Diamond lobbies, start playing. Or if you want to play support, you have to have someone you're queuing with. If you queue with a jungler as a support player, or you queue with an ADC, or you queue with a mid that are good, so you're like, this person can carry, we just got to play together, then you'll be fine. But you cannot solo queue and carry people in plat and stuff, because you still need your carries to do their work. So play a different role. What elo is this? This lobby's 2400 plus. A lot of MMRs are 26, 27, and 2800 right here. I think he's thrown off. I think now that he is being pressured a little bit, he's off his game. He's uncomfortable. Is this a rod or a Chronos pendant? Thoth is 1918 MMR. He's a plat player. Late reaction, no actives. He's done. He's getting bullied now. This is what happens. This is what's supposed to happen to you when you play a god like Thoth, and why Thoth isn't actually good. It's very difficult to play the game against people who are aware. So far in team fights, he's worthless. So for you to say he's not bad, it's because you're weighing a lot on his early game. But so far, 12 minutes plus, he's completely worthless. I hate the pre-beads, dude. Oh! See if he can come back. See if he's got the confidence. Dash misses. Should have saved it. Not gonna do any damage here. I'm playing ranked tonight. I'll probably play ranked after this game. I think this is like is there a third? Oh no, I gotta do one more elo hell. I forgot. Depends on how long this match and the next match go. I might play like 1 or 2 games after. A little late. His team is doing work. He's not doing anything. Like, look at this. He's bottom damage in the game. This is why, like, I'm not even trying to be a douche, to be honest, but this is why the opinion of viewers on stream and in YouTube are irrelevant. Because you just said he doesn't look bad. This looks terrible to me. Just seeing this, not even watching the rest of the game, there's no world you should be bottom damage. He wasn't even being focused until 2 minutes ago. And he's not even being focused. He's just getting rat ulted in one shot. Like, he's not getting double dunked and, oh, they're all over me. He's just not doing anything. We'll see how the rest of the game goes, but as of this moment, I would say he is nowhere near a true Masters level. He's 2500, 2550 MMR is Masters. He's definitely not Masters MMR. He's more like, if I were to throw him somewhere, I'd say he's like a Diamond 3, like a good Diamond 3 player who can carry his games to there. And I want to see if we can get to the point where he can carry himself up and be comfortable in these lobbies. His positioning could be so much better. He could have dashed into that rat or dashed back and then thrown a root here into somebody while they were W keying. But his dash is late and they see him dash, so they're not going to eat it. What's up, Prepared? Thank you for the 39 months. Drew, possibly. Thank you for the 21 months. Haven't been to the stream. Glad you're here. Glad you're here, dude. Aren't they supposed to patch mages soon? No.
Stop being so passe.
I like that he held the wall there to not get Thor dunked. Oh, his positioning is bad. But his positioning got worse because his confidence isn't there. He doesn't know how to play into these players that aren't letting him just W key them. Which is the most common theme we've had. When people are targeted or afraid of being targeted, they become worthless and they don't play the game. They just sit back and play out of range of everything. Okay. Has he hit an ult yet, by the way? I don't think he has. Throw to Thor. Nice. Okay. He missed, but I like his target swap. No, I didn't think so. He's not hitting ults because he's charging it right in front of them. They know exactly where it is. It's not like side ults, which are harder angles to hit, but better positioning usually comes from that. If you're over a wall and at a weird angle, they can't read where it's going to come from, but if it's straight in front of you, they can. Oh, I don't know if they see him. Now they see him. No! Thor just landed in place. The Thor just baited that rat so hard. Yo, do something, please. He's dead. That Hebo's hunting. Oh! Not a bad reaction. That Hebo was hunting. Did he get? He got. Oh, he didn't get Hebo's beads. Thought he got Hebo beads. Hebo ulted the root. Hebo hit 3 keys and he died? Nah, Hebo hit more than 3 keys. It's also, dude, Hebo is annoying, right? But the Hebo was able to blink, like be in a position to not be hit and blink onto him, and then still in position to hit him again after ulting towards him. So it's a mix of being, you gotta be more aware for the Thoth. His team needs to make sure they put the Hebo in combat. There's a lot going on there. That fight was super strange. For both teams. The other team played that fight pretty terribly at start too. Agni's still a solid pick. Baba Yaga is very good. There's a lot of mages who are playable and good. Scylla, if you're comfortable with the mechanics, is very good. Janice is insanely good because of the ult passive. There's a lot of good mages to play. Zhonger is probably the worst mage in the game. Probably the worst god in the game. I think Zhong is the worst mage in the game and probably bottom 4 to 5 gods in the game. So I played against a Chunga mid the other day, and as long as you can get through laning phase without losing your tower and being pressured, Chunga's insanely good in team fights. I played Mercury and I just got Chunga ulted on cooldown and I couldn't play the game. Too bad most people are ass with Janice. Yes, that's always been a theme. Oh, he heard it. He heard it. I hate that he puts his wall down and lets him know where he is. Good dash though, that works. There's the double dogs. He's dead. I told you guys at the start of this game, man. Is he dead to the dot? Oh, Antoine! Oh my gosh, beautiful. That was actually really good. I told you what would happen to Thoth. This is why you can't play Thoth. And they picked a comp that farms Thoth. Wait, didn't he last pick Thoth? So he picked Thoth into a comp that farms Thoth. What's Rat's build? I think he's doing damage. Yeah, he's full damage. Just a normal assassin, ability assassin build. Thor's gonna mess him up too. That Thor has an Archdruids and a Glad. He's gonna bully him. Was Baba banned? Let's see. I don't know what the bans were this game. Yeah, his team banned Baba. Baba Yaga gone. All right, well, he's hitting late game, so he's not completely out of it. He's just struggling. He has to stay near his team. So most people will be like, well, you know, what does he do against this Thor rat? He can't dash away. He has to post up. He's got to commit. He's got to stay near his teammates. If he dashes full distance away from the Thor rat every time and they're just W keying him, nobody can peel, nobody can help, nobody can return damage. He needs to get damage off if he's going to die. Yo. Okay. That's worth. That's worth. That was not bad. The enemy team played that pretty solid aside from Rat missing abilities right there, but he did what he needed to do. Good Aegis usage, good dash. Dawnbringer on Kakulin. I like Dawnbringer in general. I think it's a really good item. I was talking about it at the start of stream. It's very undervalued by your average player. You ever play an ego pick? Like they pick Yorm, so you pick KA just because you're better? Like bad matchups? I do that all the time. A bad matchup doesn't mean you lose. It means you have to play differently. So like back in the day, or you know, even now, people pick a Wheelix and it's like, oh, I can't pick Elite. I don't give a shit. I'm still picking Elite. I just gotta use my abilities better. What's up, Spawn Aiden? Thank you for the prime. What am I watching? They don't have a true ADC. They have an ability ADC. So this, oh my gosh. I thought that red was gonna make it. Nice. That's good. Free Pyro. All right. His team is in control now, all because he was able to bait. They're only down 1,000 gold. No, they're even gold, and they have fire. What's weird is him getting, like, causing Rat to die in the last fight, which is more of Rat and Thor missing abilities than anything, makes me feel like he's now KY. Maybe he deserves to be in these games. But then I think about it, I'm like, all right, he's messed up every time but once while being Dove, and all he did was survive long enough for them to miss and throw. So, which is good, but does that, to me, that's not enough to be here. So he's got to play well in these last fights for me to say he deserves to be in this game. Oh, he did go Rod. So he's playing Thoth with no CDR too, which I fucking hate. I really hate this so much. At that point, I think going Conduit Gem and the Gem of Focus on Thoth is just not worth. You might as well go the cooldown starter if this is your build. Afro support. I like Afro support if the player playing Afro knows how to frontline. You can play mages in the support role, or you can play ranged gods like Yamoja in the support role if you understand you're still frontline. If you think because you picked a ranged god, you are now part of the backline, you're a bot, you suck, and you shouldn't be playing those gods in support. He also hasn't hit an ult yet. That's very true. He hit the one, right? The quick ult on a Hebo or something. His team just won this fight. He's not even a part of this fight, and they won. Quite literally AFK. He didn't throw it through the wall. Oh my gosh. This wall doesn't have to be right in front of you, by the way. You can put it at a distance. It's all the same. Then you won't walk through it. Okay. This is rough. He had an ult, but he quick charged it, so it only did half damage. He missed all of his ones. He's misusing his abilities and missing too much. This is really bad. He's 1918 MMR right now with like what was it, like a 57% win rate or something? 60 games played. He's diamond level, but he doesn't know the matchups and he's not confident as soon as somebody's killing him. Look, if he died 5 times. Like, he isn't even feeding to me. He's not having a good game, but he's not feeding quite yet. He's using his abilities wrong because they're going on him. Oh my gosh, he's dead. No reason for him to still be there S-keying, by the way. Ooh, that was a very, very weird Thor wall. Oh, oh, wait, does he have Erendite? That's what was with that on Erendite? I know he hit him. He saw it. Rat cleanup. That all just happened because the Thoth got hard caught for no reason. Because he was S-king. You walk slower backwards than you do holding W and walking forwards, by the way. That's why when abilities are coming my way, you see me turn and walk forward instead of holding S key, which is like holding down or holding back. All right, he's back up. See what he's doing. He's still bottom damage on his team. There's no world, there's no excuse, there's no reason to be bottom damage on Thoth. Thoth is basically mystical mail out of the mid lane. Thoth does so much fake damage for a large portion of the game that if you're bottom damage, you just played wrong. Yeah, we're 30. Yeah, this is bad. This is bad. If his team wasn't playing so well, this match is over just because of the mid laner. Not, it's not even like just a mid diff. It's him being AFK. He's dead. Aegis. Nice. That was perfect. His positioning was bad to be in that situation, but he played the situation correctly. That was also a good save by Bacchus. If Bacchus isn't there at that exact moment, I think if any, maybe Loki, but really, if it's not Loki or Bacchus, he's dead. Oh no, he's going last item Chronos Pendant. Let me fuck myself real quick, dude. Oh my gosh. Just mathematically, assuming he does go wait, does he have Rod? He has Rod already, right? Yeah, that should be Chronos Pendant last. Just doing basic math. If this game ends in 5 minutes, you only get Chronos Pendant for 5 minutes, right? So that's, you know, how many extra abilities do you actually get? Where if you build that at 15 minutes, it's a 30-minute Chronos Pendant, right? You get Chronos Pendant for 30 minutes. It's way more abilities. Oh, missed. What? The rat just dashed into the miss. No shot, dude. That was not on purpose either. You can smell my balls. Hebo watched the Thoth walk into the jungle. It's also Hebo when they're trying to aggress. Oh, he's gonna walk into range of this rat. Yep. Good double ult. Good beads. Good aggression. I wish he dashed first before wanting. If he beads, dashes in, he gets a kill. But since he won first, he doesn't get any kills here. And now they're on the back foot. Because if he gets CC'd, he might die. Short dash, turn and throw your dash. Oh, he's good out of range. Oh, the sidestep. You're alive. Kill this guy. Don't choke. Oh, he choked a little bit. He's alive though, so that's good. He didn't fully freak out. He could have killed that Thor. Oh. No, you're watching it out. Hebo's hunting. He's not aware. He's okay. He's good. Hebo went for the other guy. His Thoth positioning is hyper questionable, and the fact that it kind of worked in that team fight blew my mind. I just wish when he ulted and then got stunned in beads, he had dashed instantly in and just committed to the fight. Because he isn't committed to a single fight, so at some point, just give yourself early. Bro. Oh, dude, why throw that? Dude, you were gonna not do 1500 damage with your ult, my guy.
Leave me. I need to die organically.
All right, so your excuse for him is Thoth is hard to play and easy to catch. He picked easy to catch in their comp. He picked Thoth into their comp, and he picked Thoth because he's played Thoth 3 games in a row. So being hard is not an excuse because he plays it enough that it's not hard for him, and picking it into their comp meant he was confident in the pick into their comp. So, I mean, that is an excuse. Everything you just said right there is an excuse. Why else did you say it? If you aren't trying to give him the benefit of the doubt, make an excuse, then why did you say what you said? Because that's the only thing that that statement had in it. It didn't give us any new information. It was literally, you stated it as fact, and all it was an excuse. It was reasons for his misplay. You gave 2 reasons for why he's playing bad. You didn't say anything else. Thoth positioning is so important compared to every other mage when they have gods that can dive. And realistically, it's kind of rare for you to play a game where the assassin and solo can't dive on you. I don't think you said it to be like, this is, you know, let's give this guy a break. But I think you subconsciously just made 2 excuses for him. And that was all, that was the only context, right? That was all we got out of it. That was the only substance from your statement was, here's why he's playing bad. Which is basically, here's why he's playing bad. Maybe it's not his fault, Weekend. Like, here's 2 reasons why, you know, this is hard for him. He picked it. They're not even targeting him now. They've shattered him, bro. They've shattered him. They stopped diving him. They haven't dove him in like 16 fights, and he still thinks they're gonna dive him.
My art isn't classifiable.
Like I said, I don't think you said that statement to be making an excuse, but you did make excuses for him. And when that's, you know, when everyone reads it, that's just excuses for him. That's all it ends up being. If you were like, this is what's happening, he really needs to be better at this and this, then you're explaining your statement and you're not making an excuse. But that statement by itself was an excuse. It was 2 excuses.
You're so vanilla. My art isn't classifiable.
King of the Void, thank you for the prime sub, brother. He needs to do one of 2 things, or he needed to do one of 2 things in this game. He needed to ward more, so he could sit really far back where they couldn't see him, and then full commit in when they full committed. Or he needed to position so they could dive him, and he needed to get them to go on him and get into his team. So they ult on him, and he plays in around his team, and they turn and kill. Either way, he didn't do what he needed to do this game once. The times that went best, they missed abilities on him, like they missed Rat and Thor ult, and then they overcommitted the tower and died. That was about the best thing he's done besides that double ult that killed nobody. Wasn't fair they have a dive comp? I hope you're trolling. As I just said, he picked Thoth into their comp. I hate when you guys make excuses for people because that means you make excuses for yourselves.
I may or may not.
Which is 100% why you don't get better. What's up, Hawkler? Thank you for the 21 months. Welcome back. What elo does he belong in? He's plat. He could definitely play in diamond, but there's no world where he's playing up into into like a master's lobby. He's at 1918 MMR right now. I can see him comfortably playing into like 2200 MMR and then hitting a wall. No, he's bad. Saying he's not bad is just not true. He's finally not the lowest damage on his team after 40 minutes. He was the lowest damage in the game for 20 minutes, the lowest damage on his team at 30 minutes, and now he's finally gotten to second damage on his team. Or I guess he's at a Bacchus, but you know, he's ahead of the Loki finally, and they stopped targeting him. So he's here because they are ignoring him because he's been irrelevant the whole game. They literally stopped going on him. They just don't care. He's hit one ult the whole game, one real ult. He fast ulted Hebo twice, but he hit one charged ult the whole game. I mean, he's full build. And it is a last item Chronos Pennant. Hebo's getting caught out trying to do ego shit.
You're so
On the flip side, if he plays slow and can't dive with a Thor rat, he's by himself. Like, what are you? Nobody's going on you anymore, man. They're letting you free cast and you're running away 24/7. He's so fucking freaked out from the early and mid game being targeted. Did that just heal? Hold the fuck. Hold the fuck. Hold the fuck. Hold the fuck. Hold the fuck.
You're so vanilla. Yeah. Stop being so passive. My art isn't passive. Yeah. Chill. You're so vanilla. Chill.
Why even throw this, bro? There's nobody to hit. They don't even have vision on the people back here. Bro, this is a fully charged ult. Not even into like Kuzimbo ult for mitigation. He toed it too. Wait, where's the damage? What the? What? He legit he does more to himself than that guy. He just spaz Aegis. That's a good turn. I'm just mad that he Aegis. Rat's looking for him now. Blasphemous can't play the game because the Thoth isn't playing the game out of fear of being targeted. So they kill Blasphemous for free and then they can do whatever they want. But they're missing so many abilities. Now he's being overly aggressive.
You're so vanilla.
Oh, he got his dash. He knew it was coming, bro. Worst part is, if he just stays away from the Bacchus can save him off of the rat knockup. But he stays on top of his Bacchus, so his Bacchus can't save him. What's his KDA now? How bad is this getting? 286. He's about to pass Hebo on damage, but this Hebo has been getting absolutely worked in this later part of the game.
I'm getting into some of this.
Their rat's playing solid. I think their rat might be one of the highest MMRs in this lobby. Maybe. Maybe. Ba-ba-ba-ba-da-na. I feel like you don't go acceleration against their comp too, and you go the reflect damage, I guess. What I build on Susano, I'd go to smitesource.com. Honestly, right now, I'd probably just go bump a spear into Jotuns and the Hydras and then build items around that. So if you need anti-heal after, if you want Heartseeker Crusher after. This is good. Play up, play up, play up, play up. This is where you can get kills. This is literally where you farm them. He's gonna waste his ult. He wastes his ult. Is he dead? He's dead. Because he wanted to stand there, charge his ult up, and walk past the fucking Guardian to miss his ult. That wasn't gonna one-shot anybody either, so I don't know why he did that. That was his shot to win the game for his team. He walked right past Kazimbo, bro. Okay, is Hilo trolling or is... No, they're good. We're getting a Smite source icon in Smite. I don't even know if anyone that matters on high res knows Smite source exists. I use Flex Seal. Yeah, I know that name. That's from a stream. What happened with Paragon? The game sucks ass. Terrible updates. No player base. Losing player base. Not doing anything to make the game better. Same with the predecessor. Think about all of Smite's problems, and Smite's a fairly big game. It's not giant, but you're talking... There's like 50k people plus playing the game all the time. And we have trouble having enough people to have a competitive rank scene, right? So how are those games gonna compete with player bases of 3,000? There you go. He finally had an ult that actually was relevant. This is where, yes, get some confidence, bro. Okay, well, should have taken your time. Okay, you need to make sure your abilities can't be read like this, by the way. So every time he wants to throw his 2, he walls and 2s instantly. So all these guys have to do is juke when he puts the wall down, and he misses his 2 every time. Instead, throw the wall down, wait a second, see how he reacts, and then throw the 2 out. What happened to Super People? The game closed down. They went bankrupt. They killed their own game. When they launched that game, they made some shit really OP, and they wouldn't nerf it. They just left it in the game for months. They wouldn't nerf anything or fix anything. They kept leaving the game alone or changing shit that didn't matter, and the game just died. People less and less people played, and then they went bankrupt. In less than a year, they went bankrupt. Reducing the ranked level and master requirement would help rank pool? No. The problem with the rank pool is out of say there's 50,000 people playing right now. It's like, I don't know the like the percentages exactly anymore, but you have like 20% playing arena, and then you've got like 15% playing assault, and then you have like 5% playing slash, 5% playing duel, 5% playing joust, and then you have like 25% playing playing casual conquest, and then you've got like 10% playing ranked conquest, and then you have everyone else in between. It's too many game modes for a MOBA, because arena and assault are not you're not playing a MOBA when you're playing arena and assault. I'm sorry, you're not playing a MOBA. You might be playing it by definition, but you're not playing anything that a MOBA resembles in my mind. A 135% player base is wild. You might want to re-add up the math that I used. $25 and 10 is 40. Or sorry, 25 and 10 is 35%. And then you got 5, 5, and 5. That's 50. And then I said 25% were casual conquest. So there's 25% left over after that. I said ranked is like 15%, right? So then you have another little bit, what, 10% left, 15% left, 10% left, and I said that just everyone left over. That's why so many people get high ranks in Smite. There aren't enough people playing Smite to where the good players. Okay, terrible positioning, standing on a ward too, isn't he? Is he on a ward? Maybe was he not on a ward? They can see him obviously, but I don't know if he's on a ward. Yeah, terrible players can get to the highest rank in Smite because there aren't enough good players playing the game to fill. Okay, it stands right on top of his carry. That's really bad positioning. Missed his 2. Rad just whiffed his ult. Good damage there. Okay. I'm glad he got some damage off. His team lives. Good defense. Terrible positioning. Saber, what kind of restaurant you own, dude? You got that good food? Am I about to roll through? Why don't enough people play Smite? Because the game is mostly played on console. Like there's a decent PC base, but the bigger base is consoles, and consoles are NA based. Essentially, there's a little bit of Europe console players, but most are NA based. So this game is an NA game. No giant games are NA only. Global games are your big boy games, your League of Legends, your CSGOs, your Dota. And this game will never be global again because Hi-Rez sold a portion of it to Tencent. Tencent owns League of Legends and they don't want Smite to contest League of Legends. So it got killed in the Asian markets. The triple door stun. Oh my gosh, positioning is questionable. His damage is definitely up now. He's on the come up. Caster curse, boys. Caster curse. They're all dead. Wait, they're all dead. His whole team just died. Wasn't there an infamous incident at Worlds because Tencent delayed a patch and a Chinese team thought Kraken was a bit that wasn't like an incident. The China patches were like 4 months behind when the game was played in China because Hi-Rez had to recode every patch and everything was different. Like in the Asian markets, a lot of them you can't have blood and like you couldn't have skeleton models for skins and stuff, so they had to remodel a lot of gods like Hades, and they had to remodel blood and other things. They do that in other games too, but it was like they were severely behind in patches, and that's the game. That's how you throw. 52 minutes of hell. Not elo hell, just pure unadulterated hell. What's up, Chiefs? Stay with the 82. How do they market in China? Tencent. Originally, Tencent was like a big, like any games and anything that's successful over there is through Tencent. Tencent owns everything, not just video games. They have ownership in, like, it's an insane amount of ownership that they have between companies. So anything that happens over there happens through Tencent. At first, they were with Smite, like they were helping Smite succeed over there, and then they got ownership in League, and it was like, Smite doesn't exist anymore. All right, KY, my guy. All right. Buddy, how'd you think you did?
Well, my matchup was definitely tough to say the least.
Hold on, before you say too much, do you remember when you picked Thoth? Like, did you pick it into, you know what gods you picked it into?
They had a Kuzenbo and a Thor, which was already bad, but I thought I could manage with just those, and then the rat got locked in.
Okay, so the rat was after. I didn't remember if you last picked it. I knew it wasn't early picked, but that makes sense.
Yeah, but it was tough. But I picked Thoth kind of early, which Thoth isn't good. We all know that, but it was a little bit of a comfort pick for me. I played Thoth the first game, and then Baba, and then Thoth again. But it was just tough, man. I try to stay grouped with my teammates when I can, but I have a far dash, so if I distance myself, then I get dunked on again. Relic's down. It was just tough, man. I'm not making excuses. I just got.
No, what you're saying is you're not wrong. There's like so much room. You have a lot of room for easy improvement. I wouldn't. Your early game and mid game were so rough that I wouldn't say you should be in this lobby. But you started playing better towards the end. There was a reason for that. I'll go into it in a minute. You're definitely not plat. Like you'd probably like just based off this is a really bad matchup, so it's gonna look even worse than if you play in a different game. You fix the little issues though, or even if you get a bad matchup like this that we're gonna talk about, and you could play in these lobbies at that point. Big thing, you obviously knew that Thor could be a rough matchup, but you could deal with it. When Rat was picked, I'm guessing you instantly knew you're about to be in for trouble, right? So that means your positioning is just being exploited. It's not that Thoth only gets shit on by these people. That means if you are ever out of position, you're going to be put in an even worse position, right? You're gonna die. In the early mid, a lot of the times that things went right were just off of them missing abilities. It wasn't like some things you did right, like you had a nice little like sidestep juke or something, which was perfect, but it was mainly because they were missing like their ults and stuff. They should have been killing you even smoother than they were. Once you started grouping, you needed to make a decision like in your head. Your positioning needed to be you were going to ward, you were going to counter ward, whatever, and you were going to wait for them to engage before you really engaged. Or you were saying your dash is really far away. You had to play around your teammates. You were gonna you were being targeted. You knew it. You just needed to stay with your teammates. So let them ult on you, use your beads, Aegis to avoid damage, and then turn on them. You needed to do one or the other. You couldn't keep running by yourself and dying. That's any assassin if the mage separates himself like that, you're gonna die. Any other matchup, it'd be the exact same thing. You're gonna die. So it's weird to say or to think about now, but just try to get like. If you're going to die anyway, why not try something new, essentially? Why not try, hey, let me see what happens if I stay near my team and just do that a couple times. And if it's not working or you can't figure it out, then go back to what was kind of working. They started not targeting you at the end. That's why your game picked up a lot. A lot of things, there's a lot of little things you were doing wrong throughout that match. One reason, like a lot of reasons you die, you charge up your ult and you kind of want to force it onto somebody. And when you were charging your ult, you were face charging them. Like they could see you. You were never over a wall. You were never off to the side. You were going for straight on ults because they're easier to connect on. But if they see you, they're not easy to connect on. So I'd work on anytime you're ulting, try to get yourself in a position where they aren't sure where it's coming from. So it's not guaranteed. Like they might hear it. They might know it's coming, but they don't know exactly where it is. That's important. If you can get through those ults and everything and get into the team fights, try not to force your dash ability. So you would dash correctly, but you wouldn't land them, and you weren't landing them because they could read your ability. Every time you dash to go aggressive, you wouldn't wall, right? Like you dash, you'd walk around and you'd have your wall ready to go, then you'd wall. As soon as you wall, you too. So as soon as your wall went down, they would juke and you would miss every time because they knew wall down, here comes the ability. So try to take your time and slow down a little bit. This goes hand in hand with your ult. Throw the wall down and make them make a move. Make them start juking, make them react to you, and then you decide how it's going to go. Because if you're just doing the same thing over and over again, it's too easy to miss. I mean, there's a lot of misses. I would like for you to get I don't know if you lost a little bit of confidence being targeted in the early game, but in the mid game at Fire, I don't know if you remember, you hit a double ult.
Yeah,
like a really big, full charge, perfect double ult. It would have been so much better if you hit the double ult and then you got stunned and you beads and you ran. Instead of running, fucking commit to some shit earlier and test yourself. See what you're capable of doing. Because if you're always running, you're never going to know when to be aggro, when to full commit. It's okay to die and get kills, by the way. Dying and getting kills is way better than dying while running away, which is what that fight turned into. When in my mind, if you were confident in yourself, you beads, you dash in, and you get a double kill. You might die for it, but you get a double kill. And I think you learn more from those decisions than like, let me not die. Let me keep playing the same way and be super safe mage guy. Because most bad players, not saying you're bad, but most bad players fall into a habit of when the game starts going bad, they sit so far back that they're irrelevant because they don't want to die anymore. You've already died fucking 10 times. Who the fuck cares, right? Go ahead and die some more, because as long as you're doing damage, like if I'm in your game, you're getting shit on, but you're doing damage, I don't give a fuck. I don't care that you're getting shit on if you're getting some damage off.
For sure.
That's some pretty major stuff. There was, if you watch it back, I'm not gonna like, there's a lot of nitpicky things. Like you would quick charge ults for no reason, which were bad. But then other times you would juke, like the Hebo would dive you, you'd quick charge your ult and he would end up dying for it. So those were good times. You have to, I'm not gonna tell you never to quick charge. You have to see the instances where I talk about it. There was a lot because it was a long ass fucking game. You guys played for 52. Oh, your build. I'm gonna get two things. I don't think Conduit is the best on Thoth. It's way different on Thoth than other gods because Thoth doesn't struggle to clear because most of the time you're clearing and poking, right? So cooldown ends up being more relevant if you're clearing and poking. So Sands becomes very relevant in that situation. But if you do want to go Conduit, go the Chronos earlier. Don't worry about like the flat pen and the percent pen because you are playing a max range mage that can hit the squishies all the time. So you aren't just like hitting tanks in the early game. Go for the cooldown.
So you go Sands, Chronos, then
no, if you go Sands, I wouldn't go Chronos. You can, but I think your build you had Sands Dessa would have been fine, and then never go Chronos late. Like don't even go the Chronos because with Sands
had to get that in there for the cooldown.
Yeah, but it was just so late at that point. It's so fucking late that it was irrelevant. Like just the idea is if you finish that Chronos at 15 minutes, then you get a 40-minute game of extra abilities. Where you finish it at 40 minutes, you get you had a 12-minute game of extra abilities, which really wasn't extra abilities because you'd either kill somebody and die, or you guys would win the fight and you'd group up. So I would go Sands and your Deso build if you want to go Deso, or I would go Conduit and Chronos if you want to go Conduit. I would just change those up. On Thoth, I would go the cooldown earlier. You'll be a lot more comfortable too with being Dove if your cooldowns are always up. So having a lot of CDR faster, even more valuable in that situation. The rest of the build was was fine. There was no issues with that. Warding more and actually using your wards for yourself. I'm not talking about your laning phase wards. Your laning phase was fine. Was like, you had some pressure, but it wasn't the worst thing in the world. You can use those wards for your positioning so you aren't being targeted. So I talked about put a ward down, stand on it so they don't see you, that kind of stuff. You kind of play like an assassin, but instead of looking to be aggressive off of it, you're just looking to be safe and in a position to do damage. So whenever you're in your spot, so say you guys are setting up for pyro and you're like where you want to be behind a rock, put a counter ward around you so they can't see you. Like that kind of shit is really, really important. It might seem weird to do because on most mages you don't need to do that. When you're a Thoth into a dive comp, you got to do shit like that. You need to ward yourself. You need to know you're very safe and comfortable. You're not going to get dove out of nowhere. Because they were definitely hunting your ass for the first half of that game. Like the Hebo was looking for you if you were ever out of position. The Thor Rat were trying to dunk you. They were missing a lot. So that's why I wish you had done a little bit better and reacted a little bit better. Because if they were hitting everything, you wouldn't have been able to play the game at all. You would have had your time would have been even fucking worse than it was. But yeah, I'd say watch the game back because there's just so much little shit in that game that we were talking about. You went from you shouldn't be in this game to maybe you should be in this game to your damage is really low. This is really bad. You were last damage in the game, by the way, at like 30 minutes.
Yeah,
it was really fucking bad.
The whole game.
Yeah. And then in the late game, you started hitting your shit and playing a little bit better. It could have still been a lot better. So that's why I think for me, right this second, you probably fall somewhere in diamond if you're grinded out hard enough. Like it wouldn't surprise me. You hold your own easily in a diamond game, probably carry some, probably don't. But having consistent games in masters is going to require you to do that other shit I was talking about. Do you have another god you play a lot of, by the way? Like you were comfortable with Thoth. Is there something else you were like? I think Baba was banned.
Thoth, yeah. So Baba was banned. I like Ra, but
Ra would have been even worse. Yeah.
I like Merlin. Merlin, I'm cool with. Hera, Discordia.
Okay, so out of all those gods, besides Baba would have been great. I don't know who someone on your team banned it, which sucks. Baba would have been by far the best to keep you alive. The disco, if you're actually comfortable on disco is really good at stopping dive onto herself. Really fucking good at it. So that would be, which is also a rough god because I don't say play disco if you're trying to carry games, but in a game where you're about to be targeted, this is a little bit different. These are higher level players. Disco would be a solid pick. Like you can play the game still, you can turn, you can do damage, and you can survive.
I don't know if you've done this before, but obviously seeing after my first 2 games, I don't want to call those a fluke, but if I have the opportunity to kind of redeem myself after this, I'd be more than like happy to not pick Thoth and
just go. I'd say like go watch this shit back. Give it a week or 2 or whatever. And then when you be like, I've show me your improvement. What you've done in ranked, and then we'll get you in another game.
All right, cool. Sounds good, man. I appreciate
Yes, sir, man. Yes, sir. GG's.
GG's.
Alrighty.